guys, welcome to my channel. How are you? Today we're talking about the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush collection. Jaclyn Hill collaborated with Morphe and released some brushes, some brush collection. She's done a beautiful photo here, if you see, with a crown and some brushes and all that stuff, which in honor to her, I put my crown too. I mean, I'm not Jaclyn, obviously, but I tried. 3 brush collections, and also they have them as individual brushes, which I have to say it's really good. Now they have the eye collection that it comes with 5 brushes, as you see here, and a makeup bag. The 5 brushes that you get are all these brushes, and they come in individual like plastic bags like that, and the collection, it comes all together in a plastic bag like that. Then you have the eye collection that looks like that, the bag is smaller, and then you get 8 eye brushes here, all that. And then you have the master collection where you get a case that looks like that, and you get 24 brushes. So basically the face brushes, the eye brushes, and 11 additional brushes, and retails for $165 US. Now the case looks like that, and let's see, it's all glittery and silvery, and actually I'm really impressed with the case. It's really good, and it says Morphe here, and you open it like this and you house your brushes here. I do think that's very good for traveling. It is quite bulky if you think, but I mean, if you want your brushes not to be bent, you like to put them somewhere when you travel, it's good because it makes sure that your brushes will stay intact. And when you arrive at your destination, you have somewhere to put them. I mean, you can leave them like that and use them and put them back in there. So I think the case is pretty good. This is a first impressions video, obviously. I used almost every single brush besides a couple, I think, and I've created this look. If you like to see how these brushes perform and my final thoughts, keep on watching. Let's start. I've applied a primer and used the Fenty Beauty, and I applied this with my hands because that's what I normally do. I'm getting the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation and using the first brush, the JH03 brush, that it's the foundation brush. I'm getting a couple pumps here and I'm starting. It applies pretty good. The only thing I've noticed is that it soaked a lot of the product. So I have to use another pump. I know that's excessive, but, well, first hair. This brush is pretty good. It's quite soft. It's softer than I thought it would be. It's not streaky at all. The only thing, as I said, it soaked a lot of the product, so bear that in mind. And as you know, guys, I usually apply foundation with my beauty blender. So, but if you like a brush, it's pretty good. Let's move on to concealer. And I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm scared about this part because I never used concealer with a brush. This is the first time. Let's see. So I'm using this brush, the JH08. I don't know how I'm gonna go with this because I really use concealer with a beauty blender. It might take me forever. Did do a pretty good job, I have to say. Again, it's a soft brush, it's a flat brush, and it's made for cream products. And I'm gonna apply again later on a cream bronzer with this, so I can see how that will work. But so far, yeah, it did a pretty good job. Now I'm gonna set the under eye first, and I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty powder, and I'm using for that the JH07 brush that looks like that. And again, I set powder with my beauty blender lately. I used to set it with a brush, but the JH07, it did do a good job. It's all right. I mean, if you like setting your under eye with a brush, it's a nice one. What I've noticed, I've used the Morphe brushes before. I used the equivalent of this Morphe brush in the past, and they had a particular, how can I say, unpleasant scent, which I haven't noticed with the Jaclyn Hill range. They seem to have no scent at all, and I don't know if it's me, they seem a little bit softer. This was the only brush I used before, and I didn't like it when I used it back then, but this one I do. So bear that in mind. I'm gonna use a cream bronzer, and that is the Soleil Teint de Chanel, however that's called. And I'm gonna use again the JH06 brush, and I'm taking some because Jaclyn said it's her favorite brush to use that product. So let's see, just a little bit. And then again, it did a pretty good job. It applied pretty well the Soleil Teint de Chanel bronzer. I'm pretty impressed so far. I'm gonna slightly bake. Normally I don't do that, but well, to try all these brushes I will. And now I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier, how that's called, Secret Brightening Powder. And I'm gonna use a powder brush. Actually, I'm gonna use this brush over here, the JH06 brush that Jaclyn said it's like a multifunctional brush. You can use it for powder, for blush, and etc, etc. So I'm gonna use to just slightly powder the T-zone here, and I'm gonna bake my nose. Normally I don't use brushes like that. It's alright, again very soft. I have a similar brush from Wayne Goss, and I don't use it as much, but I suppose if you want like slightly to powder like T-zone, little areas, that will work well. Also, if you want to use it probably with very intense blushes, that will pick up a little bit of product and will distribute it really well. So it's okay. It's not bad, it's alright. Now, to bake, I'm taking the JH10 brush that looks like that. I'm scared. I'm going with my Shade and Light Kat Von D palette, and I'm getting some contours here, and I'm using the JH05 brush that Jaclyn said is her favorite brush to contour. So let's see. I have to say I'm impressed with this brush. This brush is really good for contour. I really like it so far. Now I'm going back to that baking brush. My opinion on this brush, guys, if you like to bake, might be a good brush for you. But for me, I don't really have a use of the for this brush. Now let's remove the bake or the noise. And I'm using again the JH06, which is the multi kind of functional brush. Let's use a powder bronzer, because why not? Because I want to try that a JH02 brush. That reminds me a little bit of the Tom Ford bronzer brush. Reminds me as a shape, or the MAC. You remember that brush of MAC that has a bronzer brush that looks like that. It's very soft, I have to say. And I'm gonna use the Tom Ford bronzer here. I can spot one hair coming off. For this stage, it's not a big of a problem, but if they continue coming off, it will be. Let's see. I don't want to disturb the crown. I love this brush. Okay, this is a great brush to apply bronzer. It's soft, but it's not to the point not to pick up the product. It's soft and dense enough. I don't know how to explain it, but it applies powder bronzer, as you see, pretty good. I like this so far. I hope it doesn't shed. That's all. Let's move on to blush. And I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Blush in First Love. As you know, I love this blush. And the JH04. I have to say that I applied the blush pretty well. What do you guys think? So it's a pretty good blush brush. I mean, it's nothing special about it, but it's pretty good. Again, it's soft. It's, I don't know. So far, I'm impressed. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. Now, let's go to the brush, the highlighter brush. That is the same brush that Morphe has, JH09. Now, this highlighter brush, I'm very curious because I can see everyone on the on YouTube ping the pencil. And I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow. Is it Bronze and Glow? Film Star. Let's see. Okay, this applies the highlighter very intense. I have to say I like it. Now let's use the Big Mama, the big powder brush, the JH01, and that is very soft again. I'm gonna use that with my Hourglass powders as a finishing powder, you know. Just blend everything. You see the difference in two sides? This is a little bit more blended. Again, it did a very good job and it's very soft. Moving on to the eyes, and I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. I'm gonna start blending using the JH30 brush. Actually, I might use my blush as a transition color because did a pretty good job. I like it. There are 5 blending brushes here that they look very similar to me. And I'm not quite sure if you need all of them. I personally don't. So I'm gonna try maybe a couple. I'm gonna try this one, which is the JH31. And also I'm gonna try the JH33. Let's see. Now I'm taking the JH31. Let's see. They did a decent job. Now I'm getting this, the JH40, and I'm just defining the crease a little bit. It did a good job. Now I'm gonna apply the flat synthetic brush, the JH41, the shimmer here. Does a pretty decent job considering that it's dry. And I never ever applied that particular shade with a brush. Now for the lower lash, I'm going with this shade and the brush JH43. I believe that's like Jaclyn's favorite, right? Okay, this is a nice brush for the lower lash. Very nice. Now I'm using a little bit the JH17 to blend everything clean. That seems to do a good job. And the JH, what is this? 36. They are similar. One is smaller and the other one is bigger. You can use, very nice. And for my inner corners, I'm using the JH38. Pretty good job again. And I left with the JH62, that little brush here. I'm gonna apply some of this color, a little bit here. Now, my final thoughts. All in all, guys, I have to say that I'm really impressed with these brushes. I'm quite in shock because I wasn't expecting that. The brushes are quite soft, the handles, they feel very, very sturdy, they look quite weighty, they perform really well. Now, there wasn't any brush that performed badly for me, but I have my favorites. Now, do you need all these 24 brushes? Probably if you're an everyday consumer, I would say no. Like, for example, you have 5 blending brushes. They are quite similar. Do I personally need all these 5? No. Some of you may need it, but I personally, I don't. I need probably 2 of these. I know it's the price is quite steep, but it's $165 for the whole set. But if you think that there are 24 brushes, they're $7 or less than $7 a brush. So if you think like that, it's quite good. But on the other hand, I don't think the everyday person will need all these brushes, 24 brushes, to do their makeup every day. The face brushes are okay, but as for the eye brushes, you have 5 similar blending brushes plus these blending brushes, and you have only one flat synthetic brush to apply color and this little one, 2. So I will need one more, maybe bigger flat synthetic brush. And also I haven't seen any eyebrow products, maybe because it's a full set. On the whole set I will need, say, I don't know, an eyebrow comb, or maybe something that's a little bit slanted to do my eyebrow, or maybe to do my eyeliner too, brushes. Because if you think about, all in all, to get a whole set, you need to include everything. So I haven't seen any eyebrow products or any products to do, say, a liquid liner. If I had to pick, I would say that probably I would pick individual brushes. I would get the case because the case is really nice. And I will tell you my favorite brushes now. First, I was really pleasantly surprised with the foundation brush, which is the JH03. That's really beautiful. It applied my foundation streak free, and yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I have to say, I wasn't expecting that. I'm pleasantly surprised here, seriously. Now, the second brush I really like, it's the JH08, is the cream brush that I applied my concealer. It applied concealer really, really well. Also, I applied the cream bronzer, my Chanel cream bronzer really well, and I really like this brush. Now, third one, I really like the contour brush, JH05. This applied contour really well again, and I really like them. I have to say it's one of the really good brushes. And the other one, it's JH02, the bronzer brush, guys. Next, the big powder brush, the JH01, really beautiful. The blending brush, the JH30, that I just put my transition color, really beautiful brush. I really like also the JH43 for the lower lash. I was really impressed by that. These two are really nice. Now, from all these blending brushes, I would take just a couple or one. The ones I used these two, they done the job good. Are these my favorite blending brushes? Probably not, but they do the job, and I would recommend to pick up a couple. Also, I really like the JH38 to just put in the inner corners and under the brow. That was a really nice brush. All the rest of the brushes, they've done the job. They're all good brushes. I wasn't disappointed in any of them, but they're not a necessity for me. The other thing I don't know yet is how this brush is gonna wash. I don't know how they're going to perform after use, if you know what I mean. Wash, use, and all that stuff. So I don't know how they're gonna perform in time. That's something that I will have to keep you posted. So far as first impressions, I think Jaclyn and Morphe, they've done exceptionally well. I'm pleasantly surprised, I have to say, not only by the case and the quality of the handles and stuff, but from how soft they are and how they perform. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I know, I keep saying I'm surprised, because I am. You know, I suppose I was expecting to be not as good. I haven't found one brush that didn't perform well, and bear that in mind. The other thing is these brushes are synthetic brushes and natural brushes, if that's important to you, and also that they are made in China. I've ordered mine from Morphe's Australian site for 225 Australian dollars. I did use a discount code, the Jaclyn, and there are several discount codes you can use because there are several influencers that they work with Morphe, and you can get a 10% discount. And I just got them for 205. And the shipping was free, and I didn't have any problems with the site. It didn't crash. The transaction went pretty smooth, and I received them in a couple days. Please leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts. Did you pick them up? And also I want to know your thoughts on the on the video today, how you think they perform. I love hearing your thoughts, and I love interacting with you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, mwah, love you lots. Bye.